Elon Musk, the child who lived in the effete, Reeve Musk was born into a world that never quite felt like it belonged to him. From his earliest memories in Pretoria, South Africa, he sensed a quiet distance between himself and everyone else's, if his mind operated on a different frequency. While other children laughed, shouted, and ran through playgrounds, Elon preferred silence. Silence allowed him to think. And thinking for him was everything. By the age of 3, Elon could read. Not slowly, not clumsily, but fluently. Words did not confuse him. They opened doors. Books became his first companions. He would sit for hours, lost in pages that explained how the universe worked, how machines were built, how ideas became reality. Encyclopedias fascinated him more than toys. Adults around him were surprised, sometimes uncomfortable. By the depth of his curiosity, his mother, May Musk, often watched him carefully. She saw brilliance, but she also saw loneliness. Elon was not the kind of child who asked for attention. He rarely complained. Instead, he disappeared into his own mind, where questions multiplied endlessly. Why does electricity move? How do rockets escape gravity? What happens if humans stay on Earth forever? School was not kind to children like Elon Musk. In classrooms, teachers often mistook his silence for distraction. In playgrounds, other children mistook his intelligence for weakness. He didn't fight back, he didn't shout, he endured. And because he endured quietly, the bullying continued. He was pushed, mocked, isolated. His difference became a target. One brutal day, the bullying turned violent. A group of boys cornered Elon and shoved him down a flight of stairs. His body crashed to the ground, unconscious. When he woke up later in a hospital bed, bruised and bleeding, something inside him changed forever. He learned that the world did not reward intelligence with kindness, and it did not protect the quiet. But instead of becoming bitter, Elon became focused. Pain did not destroy him, it sharpened him. He withdrew even further into books, especially science fiction. Stories by Isaac Asimov and others showed him a future where thinkers mattered, where engineers shaped destiny, where humanity reached beyond Earth. These stories were not escapism for Elon, they were blueprints. He studied them, the way others studied textbooks, analyzing possibilities, questioning limitations. At home, life was complicated. His parents separated, and emotional tension filled the house. Elon learned early that comfort was temporary and understanding was rare. It forced him to grow independent faster than most children. He trusted ideas more than people. Machines, after all, were logical. They followed rules. Humans did not. Everything changed the day Elon discovered computers at 10 years old. When he first touched a keyboard, it felt like destiny. Computer was not just a machine, it was a bridge between imagination and reality, Elon taught himself. Programming obsessively, reading manuals, experimenting, failing, fixing. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't need guidance. Logic made sense to him in a way people never had. By 12, Elon created a simple space-themed video game called Blastar. He sold it for $500. The money mattered less than the meaning. It was proof that knowledge could create value. Proof that age did not limit impact. Proof that a boy with an idea could build something real. South Africa began to feel small, not physically, but mentally. Elon felt trapped in a place that could not match his ambition. He watched the world from afar and understood something most adults never realize. The future belongs to those who build it. He didn't want safety. He didn't want comfort. He wanted access to education, to technology, to opportunity. At night, while others slept, Elon imagined humanity on Mars. He imagined cities powered by clean energy, machines thinking alongside humans, and a civilization strong enough to survive beyond Earth. These were not childish dreams. They were long-term strategies forming inside a teenage mind. Eventually, Elon made a decision that would define his life. He would leave. Leaving meant uncertainty, meant struggle, it meant being alone in unfamiliar places. Elon Musk had already learned to survive loneliness. He packed his curiosity, his discipline, and his unshakable belief that impossible problems were simply unsolved ones. The boy who once lay bleeding at the bottom of school dares walked forward without fear, because he understood something the world would learn much later. The future does not belong to the loudest, the strongest, or the most popular. It belongs to those who think differently and refuse to stop. Elon Musk. The school years that forged a future VICO, Elon Musk's school life, was not a story of trophies, applause, or popularity. It was a story of survival, endurance, and silent transformation. These were the years that shaped his mind, hardened his emotions, and planted the seeds of ideas that would one day change the world. In the classrooms of Pretoria, South Africa, Elon was known as the boy who didn't speak much. Teachers often mistook his silence for boredom or disobedience. In truth, his mind was always active, working several layers deeper than the lessons on the blackboard. While other students memorized facts to pass exams, Elon questioned the systems behind those facts. He wasn't trying to rebel. He simply needed answers that no textbook offered. From an early age in school, Elon struggled to connect with his classmates. Social rules felt confusing, unnecessary, and inefficient. He didn't understand why popularity mattered more than intelligence, or why physical strength earned more respect than ideas. These differences made him an outsider, and outsiders are rarely treated kindly. Isolation in the classroom, Elon often sat alone. During lunch breaks, while groups formed around jokes and gossip, he sat with a book balanced on his knees. Science, physics, mathematics, these subjects gave him comfort. They followed logic. They made sense. Humans, however, did not. Other students noticed his habits. They noticed his quiet nature, his lack of interest in sports, and his refusal to engage in meaningless chatter. Slowly, teasing began. At first it was words and laughter, then pushing. Elon did not fight back, not because he was weak, but because violence seemed pointless to him. He believed knowledge was power, and power didn't need fists. Unfortunately, the schoolyard followed a different set of rules. The bullying escalated. One incident became a defining moment of his school life. A group of boys attacked him, beating him, and throwing him down a flight of stairs. He lost consciousness. His body was broken. But something far more important broke that day, his illusion that intelligence alone could protect him. When he returned to school after recovery, he was different, quieter, more distant, more determined, pain as a teacher most. Children are shaped by encouragement. Elon Musk was shaped by pain. School taught him lessons no teacher ever intended to teach. He learned that the world could be cruel. That being different came with consequences. Not relying on others for acceptance was dangerous. Instead of becoming bitter, Elon adapted. He learned to observe rather than react. He studied people the way he studied machines, looking for patterns, weaknesses, motivations. He learned emotional control. He learned patience. These traits would later define his leadership style. At home, things were not much easier. Emotional tension followed him everywhere. School offered no refuge, but it offered something else: access to information. Became his weapon. Discovering his true strength as Elon progressed through school, his academic abilities became impossible to ignore. Mathematics came naturally to him. Physics felt intuitive, almost obvious. Complex problems that confused others felt like puzzles waiting to be solved. Teachers began to notice. Some were impressed, some were intimidated, some misunderstood. Him completely. Elon didn't excel because he worked harder. He excelled because he thought differently. He didn't memorize formulas. He understood why they worked. This made him dangerous in a system designed for conformity. Still, he didn't fit in. He wasn't the best athlete. He wasn't the class clown. He wasn't socially dominant. But he was building something invisible. Mind capable of changing systems? The computer changes everything during his school years. Elon discovered computers and everything changed. The moment he began programming, school stopped feeling like a prison and started feeling like a training. Ground code was honest. It either worked or it didn't. No politics. No bullying. No lies. He taught himself programming late into the night, ignoring exhaustion. School lessons during the day became secondary to the ideas forming in his mind. He wasn't escaping school, he was preparing to outgrow it. At just 12 years old, while still a school student, Elon created and sold his own video game. That moment quietly rewrote his understanding of the world. He realized something powerful. You don't need permission to create value. School had taught him rules. Computers taught him freedom. Feeling trapped by the system, as Elon grew older, his frustration with traditional schooling increased. He felt the system moved too slowly, valued obedience over creativity, and punished unconventional thinking. He wasn't failing, but he wasn't fulfilled either. South Africa felt limiting, not because of geography, but because of opportunity. Elon looked beyond his classroom walls. He followed global technological developments, studied innovators. He realized that the future he wanted to build would not be possible if he stayed where he was. School was no longer about grades, it was about endurance, till escape became possible. The quiet decision by the time Elon approached the end of his school life. He'd already made a decision that would change everything. He would leave. Not just the school, not just the city, but the entire country. School had given him knowledge, pain, discipline, and isolation. It had not given him belonging, but it had given him strength. He understood now that he was not meant to fit into existing systems. He was meant to build new ones. When Elon Musk finally walked away from his school years, he carried no nostalgia. He carried lessons. Lessons about resilience, lessons about independence, lessons about thinking beyond boundaries, the legacy of the school. Years the world would later see Elon Musk as a billionaire, an innovator, and a disruptor. Few would imagine the lonely schoolboy who once sat alone, bruised and misunderstood. But that boy never disappeared. He became the man who challenges industries, the man who refuses to accept impossible, the man who builds for the future. Not approval, because school did not break Elon Musk. It forged him. Elon Musk. The college and university years born to leave. Built to change the world, Elon Musk did not enter college searching for comfort, friendship, or tradition. He entered higher education with a mission to escape limitation and move closer to the future he had already imagined since childhood. His college and university years were not glamorous or easy. They were defined by struggle, hunger, loneliness, and relentless ambition. These were the years when Elon Musk stopped being just a brilliant outsider and began transforming into a builder of impossible things, leaving home. Of independent Ceylon, Musk left South Africa as a teenager, driven by a belief that opportunity lived elsewhere. His decision was not fueled by rebellion, but by clarity. He understood that the technological future he wanted to build could not grow in isolation. He arrived in Canada, carrying little more than determination and a willingness to suffer. College. Life did not welcome him with warmth. Elon worked odd jobs to survive, cleaning boilers, shoveling grain, performing physically exhausting labor. These jobs were brutal, but they taught him something no classroom ever could: endurance. While his body ached, his mind remained focused on a single goal: education as a weapon. He enrolled at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. This was Elon Musk's first real exposure to structured higher education in the Western world. Queen's University. Hunger and curiosity at Queen's University. Elon was not wealthy, popular, or socially connected. He was a foreign student with limited resources and unlimited curiosity. He lived frugally, often questioning whether he could afford the next semester. Yet, intellectually, he was alive. For the first time, Elon found himself surrounded by students who valued thinking. Still, even here, he felt different. His interests were broader, deeper, and more extreme than those of his peers. While others discussed careers and grades, Elon talked about energy systems, space exploration, and the survival of humanity. Many found him intense. Some found him strange. Few truly understood him. Socially, Elon remained distant, not because he disliked people, but because small talk felt inefficient. He preferred conversations about ideas that mattered. When those conversations didn't exist, He returned to solitude. Queen's University became a stepping stone, not a destination. Elon knew he needed more. Crossing the border, the move to the United States. It's after 2 years in Canada, Elon made another bold decision. He would transfer to the United States, to Elon Musk. America represented speed, innovation, and scale. It was where technology evolved faster, where ambition was rewarded rather than questioned. The move was risky, but risk had already become familiar. He transferred to the University of Pennsylvania, one of the world's most respected institutions. This was where Elon Musk's mind truly expanded. University of Pennsylvania. Dual paths of thought at the University of Pennsylvania. Elon pursued 2 degrees simultaneously. Physics to understand the fundamental laws of the universe, economics Wharton School, to understand how systems, money, and power move this. Combination was unusual. Most students chose one path. Elon chose 2. Physics satisfied his hunger for truth. Economics taught him how ideas could survive in the real world. He wasn't studying for exams, he was preparing to build. University life was intense. Elon worked constantly, often skipping comfort and sleep. He read beyond the curriculum, questioning professors, challenging assumptions, and connecting ideas across disciplines. To many classmates, he seemed obsessed. To Elon, obsession was necessary. Living conditions. Poverty with purpose. Despite studying at an elite university, Elon lived modestly, sometimes uncomfortably. He shared small apartments, avoided unnecessary expenses, and focused entirely on learning. Money was always limited, but vision was never scarce. At times, he felt isolated. He didn't party much. He didn't chase status. He didn't slow down. Instead, he spent nights discussing future technologies, sketching ideas, and imagining businesses that could solve global problems. His roommates often described him as intense, but visionary, someone who seemed mentally years ahead. The seeds of entrepreneurship during his university years. Elon Musk didn't just study, he experimented. He constantly thought about how technology could reshape the world. The internet fascinated him. Energy systems concerned him. Space exploration obsessed him. He began to realize something critical. Big problems required bold execution, not just intelligence. University taught him theory. Life taught him urgency. While many students planned traditional careers, Elon was already planning exits from mediocrity, from limitations, from safe choices. Stanford. The shortest chapter after graduating from the University of Pennsylvania, Elon was accepted into a PhD program at Stanford University. This was a dream destination for many. For Elon Musk, it lasted 2 days. Stanford represented academic prestige, but Elon saw something else happening outside its walls. The internet was exploding. Startups were being born. Technology was moving faster than academia could follow. Elon made a decision that defined his future. He dropped out. Not because he failed, but because he refused to wait. The meaning of his university years. Elon Musk's college and university. Life was not about degrees alone. It was about transformation. College taught him independence. University taught him systems thinking. Struggle taught him resilience. He learned to live with uncertainty, to survive with limited resources, and to think on a scale few dared to imagine. He learned that knowledge alone was not enough, execution mattered more. By the time Elon Musk walked away from formal education, he was no longer a student. He was a builder. From student to architect of the future, the world would later know. Elon Musk, as the founder of companies that changed industries, PayPal, SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, and more, but all of it traced back to those uncertain years of higher education. Years of sleeping less, dreaming bigger, choosing discomfort over safety. His college and university life did not make him successful. They made him unstoppable. Final reflection. Musk's journey through college and university proves one powerful truth. Education is not about following a path, it is about discovering your own. He did not chase security, he chased impact, and the student who once crossed borders with nothing. But ambition would go on to redefine the future of humanity. Elon Musk. The business warrior, and the man who lives in the effete Elon Musk's business life, is not a smooth success story. It is a battlefield filled with risk, failure, near collapse, public criticism, and relentless pressure. Unlike traditional entrepreneurs, Elon did not build companies to become rich. Wealth followed him, but it was never the destination. His destination was impact. To understand Elon Musk's business journey is to understand a man who constantly places himself on the edge of collapse in pursuit of a future he believes humanity must reach. The first leap, Zip2, and the taste of risk. Elon Musk's business life began with uncertainty. After leaving Stanford University after just 2 days, Elon entered the chaotic world of startups. The internet was young, unstable, and misunderstood. Most people saw it as a novelty. Elon saw it as a nervous system for the future. With his brother Kimball Musk, he founded Zip2, a software company that helped newspapers build online city guides. The office was small, money was tight. Elon often slept on the office floor, showered at the YMCA, and survived on minimal food. There was no safety net. Elon coded day and night. He fixed servers himself. He negotiated deals. He lived inside the business. Failure would have meant total collapse, not just of a company, but of his belief that bold ideas could survive in the real world. When Zip2 was sold for nearly $300 million, Elon received his first real wealth. But instead of slowing down, he accelerated. PayPal, power, conflict, and control. Elon Musk reinvested his earnings into X.com, an online banking company that later became PayPal. His vision was radical: to create a global digital financial system. But business is not just ideas, it is people. Elon's leadership style was intense, demanding, and uncompromising. Conflict arose. Disagreements grew. Eventually, Elon was removed as CEO while on his honeymoon. Most people would have been broken. Elon adapted. When PayPal was later sold to eBay for $1.5 billion, Elon emerged wealthier, but also wiser. He learned that power, execution, timing mattered as much as vision. He could have retired instead. He chose something far more dangerous: betting everything. SpaceX and Tesla. Elon Musk decided to invest his fortune into two industries where failure was almost guaranteed: space exploration and electric vehicles. Experts laughed. Rockets were for governments. Electric cars were toys. Elon ignored them. SpaceX. Defying gravity. SpaceX was born from a belief that humanity must become a multi-planet species. The early years were brutal. Rockets exploded. Money vanished. Engineers doubted. The media mocked. By 2008, SpaceX was one failed launch away from bankruptcy. The fourth launch succeeded. That single moment saved the company and changed space history forever. Tesla. Reinventing transportation at the same time, Tesla was bleeding money. Production delays, investor pressure, and technical failures threatened its survival. Elon poured everything he had into keeping it alive, financially and emotionally. He slept in factories. He micromanaged his production lines. He endured public ridicule. Both companies survived barely, living under pressure. Cost of vision. In Musk's business life demanded sacrifice. Relationships suffered. Sleep disappeared. Stress became constant. He lived under relentless public scrutiny. Every tweet moved markets. Every decision sparked controversy. Critics accused him of arrogance. Supporters called him a genius. Elon accepted neither label. He cared only about progress, expansion of influence. Neuralink, Solar City, the boring company. Elon's business empire expanded beyond profit into purpose-driven innovation. Solar City aimed to accelerate renewable energy. Neuralink explored the future of human-AI interaction. The boring company challenged outdated infrastructure. Venture attracted skepticism. Each carried massive risk. Elon didn't chase safe bets. He chased necessary ones. Elon Musk today: power, controversy, and control in his present life. Elon Musk is one of the most influential individuals on Earth. He leads multiple companies, simultaneously something many consider impossible. He operates in real time, under global attention. His acquisition of X, formerly Twitter, demonstrated his belief that information platforms shape civilization itself, critics argue. Debates rage. Elon remains unmoved. He sees himself not as a ruler, but as a custodian of future systems. The man behind the billionaire, despite wealth, Elon's personal life remains complex. He lives simply compared to his net worth. He works obsessively. He values engineering over luxury. His motivation is not comfort, it is survival. He believes humanity faces existential threats from AI energy collapse and planetary limits. His business decisions reflect that belief. Final truth, Elon Musk's business and present life prove one uncomfortable truth. Progress is built by those willing to be misunderstood, attacked, and nearly destroyed. He is not perfect. He is not safe. He is not traditional. But he is relentless. Elon Musk lives not in the present, but in the future he is trying to force into existence. And whether the world loves him or hates him, it cannot ignore him.